Continue on their good work of the season of 1990 and work it wide when they get the opportunity. I think the Tigers will win.
Rod, did Jeff Naylor in the dressing room when you were talking to him, did he have any explanation why Souths have lost form after their Woolies win?
I did ask him that, and he said it's just beyond him how they could go so well in the Woolies and then so badly in this Winfield State League. He had no real answer, and of course will miss last week's game, or did miss last week's game because of the wet, and that could well turn against them today.
Neve gets rid of the ball, and this is Jackson coming up into the back line. Amazing conversation which takes place at scrums with referees. That's Nielsen playing it to Rattiri, and very quick play the ball. This is Pearce. And that penalty going against Jason Smith. I've heard Tony Maksoud said, I called you out of the tackle, you were offside. Smith didn't listen. And the stand-in captain, Chris Hastings, finds touch inside the 22. Pressure time here for Souths. Rattiri organising things. Lusker's beside him. Around it goes back towards Neve. Oh, nice pass to Wallens, and Cowell's about... Well, he's held up. I was going to say centimetres short of the line. Now, Dennis Hastie takes up the roll to Lewis. Holds it up nicely for Smith. He's tackled by Jackson, 12 out from the line. Harms, away to Hastie. Shows it, and he's 3 out now. Big chance the Magpies. East under pressure. Lewis, Smith. Great tackle from Mark Nash. They're on the final tackle now. Cuthbertson, does he try his bulk? Gives it back to Lewis, and on the fly comes Keane McDonald. And he's come from an offside position. Put down by Gould. Also Marsh. Paul Lusk. Back to Wowlands. Underneath is Deeves to put him down, but the pass has gone back to Nielsen. Wilkes. Threw it very hard back to Neve. It's pretty sloppy play. But sometimes tries come from incidents all over the place. And now Hastings found speed. Jason Smith getting between the two Eastern Suburbs players, and the pass couldn't go to Patch. It was good work from Smith. East are a team that, here's Cuthbertson. East are a team always prepared to throw the ball. Sometimes they throw it from impossible positions. Hastie. Now it's Marsh at dummy half. Lewis. Laxon trying to get through. Back to Lewis, nice hands. Well, back to Brownlee, over to Deeves. And the front rower is tackled. Former St Brendan's player.
Queensland under 21 from last season.
That's an awkward one. It's well taken by Jackson. Now, a quick... No quick tap. Goes back to Rattiri.
I think the other thing we've got to look at here, it is so humid, and the conditions, the game started at a very fast pace, and the side that crashes down first and runs out of puff is probably going to be the side that gets beaten.
So Paul Lusker's 8 metres outside his own 22. Oh, here's a go. Rattiri split them from the dummy half position. Gained about 25, 30 metres. Here's Patch. So just outside the quarter is where East have possession of the football. Here's Jackson into space. Wilkes is looming on his inside, but he's going to go all the way on his own. Ken Jackson in. He had Steve Wilkes beside him, decided he didn't need him, and his decision was right. Ken Jackson, as he said, sorry, mate. Don't worry about sorry. He's got the 4 points on the board. East lead 4-0.
Very good try to Jackson. A great individual effort as he comes off this pass. Makes the break nicely. But I thought he may have overdone it here because he had Wilkes in good position for an easy try, but he elected to take on the fullback Harm and make it to the try.
I suppose when you look at the replay, Brownlee was very close to Wilkes. He might have thought that if he'd given the ball to Wilkes, he would have been cut down from behind, which he easily could have. But Jackson's a big fellow and he beat Harms.
I think that would have went through his mind, Alan. He is a big fellow, and once he got there, he had momentum up, and I think he could easily handle the fullback from that space because he just had the hand out for the palm off and over for a very good try. A fair season in front of him with a chance to make the big league.
Over.
Great kick.
Great kick from Jackson from the touchline to convert his own try, and East lead by 6-0.
Tonight on Our World.
So Deeves 12 out from the line. Jason Smith. Now Lewis and Morrissey. Doesn't want Stour. Picks up Gould. Back to Morrissey. And now Cuthbertson. Can he get to the line with his weight? He's giving it an almighty push. Look at the ball. No try. Well, the touch judge was there.
Yep, Peter Murray right on the spot. Maksoud asked the question, and the touch judge said that he was held up. You need to tackle this fellow aggressively, Pat Cowell. He's an aggressive footballer, runs hard.
So Nielsen just on the halfway. Jackson. How's the bounce for him this time? I think it's all right,
Great
Mr.
kick.
T.
Great kick. And I think they've picked Harm all right because they've put him out of position on a couple of occasions.
I'm just not sure whether... Well, he's standing in the middle of the ground, but I don't think Banai's picking the ball to go back on.
Certainly not. And Jackson, with a well-placed kick, he guided that one into position very nicely.
So Banai picks this one up, and Wolan's put him to ground. Just wondering whether Johnny Lang's had a talk to Darren Wolans about his tackling, because he is going a lot lower today, which is very foreign for him. Here's Brownlee into space, but his support's not there. He only had the big fellow Keane McDonald behind him, who's got the ball now. Now it's gone through Lewis and Morrissey. Do they have the numbers out wide? Cuthbertson's taking them on. He should be looking for support. Now he's found Stour, and Laxon is away. Now, here comes Jackson. Nash from behind. It's too late. Paul Laxon's in the score. That's a great South try.
Have a look at the replay. That was to play the ball from where Lyle Brownlee had taken it up, and then good hands here. Cuthbertson does well. He gets around the first tackle, draws in the defence, and then gets the pass away. And then when we have a look at Laxon here on the wing, he does brilliantly. He comes in towards Jackson, just stands him up enough to go away for the corner, and he has too much pace, and an excellent winger's try.
Hatch could, well, he got there, but he missed Laxon. Nash couldn't pick him up from behind. Jackson came too late. 6-4, here's the conversion, or attempted conversion. It's coming back. Ooh. Oh, just misses. No goal. East lead 6-4, 13 minutes to half-time. Brownlee wasn't expecting it, and now it's gone to Brett Gould, and he's out there all on his own, so they didn't get that passage of play right.
Very tired Southern Suburb side, and they'd do well to hang on to the ball here for 6 and make it work, but a good kick from Lewis.
Well, Morrissey was chasing, but Hastings got the bounce, and there's a bit of room if he can straighten up. Right on the halfway mark, he goes to ground.
The idea was right, but when he's got his side as tired as what Southern Suburbs, it would have been better to use up as many of these last 6 minutes before half-time as he could by hanging on to the ball. There's no theory they can't score if you've got the ball.
So Pearce. Now Rattiri. Away it goes to Patch. He's up the middle with a bit of room. And he's got the numbers. He only has to draw the fullback. That's it, Eckert under the post. Davey Eckert in to score.
Unfortunately, Bomber, it was coming, mate. If you're sitting in the studio, East were always going to pick up a try because South had just run out of pup with these last 4 or 5 minutes to go, and East took the work. So let's have a look at the next replay. Patch doing the excellent work. He found the holes, and he makes good ground as he skirts wide, and then clever play as he looks inside, gets the pass up for Urquhart, and he races around and makes good ground and an easy kick to follow from Jackson. If he would have been able to hang on to it for 6 and kick it deep, they mightn't be in this position as Jackson raises the flags.
That makes it 12 points to 4, and there's 4 minutes to half-time. Through to Neve. Patch. And here's Patch off again. Oh, he's got the hands back towards Hastings. Let's have a look at the clock. There's 70 seconds to the break. Patch again. How's the bounce? Jason Smith, I think, might have been first there. What's happened here? He's ruled a try over on the far side.
Oh, gee, I thought Jason Smith got there.
Well, only a look at the replay will know. Let's have a look. And, well, from there he looks as though he grounded.
Well, Craig Patch is calling for the try at that stage, so he obviously thinks he got a hand, but if he didn't get a hand, the try should have been awarded there to Patch if it was the Southern Suburbs player that touched it.
And Pat Cowell was the try scorer, and that looks a nice kick. Oh, yes. Nice stuff, Kenny Jackson. And that's half-time, and East lead at the break. They lead Souths by 18 points to 4. $18 points to 4 is the lead for Eastern Suburbs. That's the lead they can protect for the next 40 minutes, and they'll get away with this match here at Lang Park in the Winfield State League. Well, I'd love to know what happened, Rod Tiley, in the South dressing room. Would have been some interesting conversation.
Yeah, it was pretty vocal in there from Jeff Naylor, and he was stressing that they had to take the ball forward. If he said it once, he said it 310 times. Take the ball forward. We're way too sloppy at the play the ball. We must keep taking it forward to give ourselves some opportunities to use blokes like Cuthbertson out in that back line. Johnny Lang, quiet and reserved as usual, simply said, keep grinding away and we'll get away with the game today. And just harking back to that try, that last try in that first half, I had a yarn to Tony Maksoud, the referee. He said that in his opinion, Jason Smith didn't ground the ball behind the line, but simply pushed it forward, and then the next East player to get the ball was able to get in and score the try.
Well, speaking of scoring tries, Kenny Robinson's in to score a try within about, let's have a look, he scored it with 48 seconds into the second half.
He not only scored a try, that was a magnificent Southern Suburbs try. It was better than the one they scored in the first half, because have a look at this. It's a good switch of play, and we see from here the ball goes back inside to Scott Lewis, who does well to turn it back outside, and from then on, that's the third time Lewis handled the ball, and then Robinson does the rest himself to score an outstanding try. But
Great
Lewis handled 3 times, Alan.
Yes, he's...
that's number 2 there.
He's had a vital role in this this game here this afternoon, both in defence and attack. So that's the sort of start that Jeff Naylor would like. 45 seconds on the clock in the second half, and you're over. It's 18-8, and the kick, no mistake, it's 18 points to 10. So Souths are back on the ball game.
Try was converted by Jason Smith. East 18, South 10.
Well, what a start to the second half. Now, to be quite candid, Rod Tiley, because I was watching the football, I wasn't even listening virtually there to what you were saying.
I should have been watching the football and not talking to myself. What was happening, I was saying that Tony Maksoud said that in his opinion, Jason Smith had pushed the ball forward rather than down, so the next East hand to get it, he awarded that try.
I take it the decision didn't go down too well with some patrons over the other side there?
No, it certainly didn't. Jeff Naylor did ask Jason Smith if he grounded the ball, and in Jason's opinion, he said yes, he did. But the referee was in certainly better position than I was, so we'll go with Maksoud.
Right, and now Souths are starting to find a bit of gap in the East defence. It's touched, so it'll be 6 to go. It was Brett Gould that made that break. So, 18 points to 10, Bruce Warwick. This game is now wide open.
Well, it is wide open in the sense that...
and Lewis is away. Oh, he's got Smith beside him. How's the cover? It's nowhere near. Souths are turning it on. Jason Smith is in. Scott Lewis has turned this match around on the twinkling of an eye in the second half. And now Eastern Suburbs lead by 18 points to 14.
Well, I think if Wayne Bennett was having a chance to sit down and relax after yesterday's game, he'd be feeling for Johnny Lang right now, because a comfortable lead at half-time has now turned upside down with some beautiful play. Scott Lewis that time made the bust, and then he picked up a beautiful pass inside to Jason Smith. Lewis goes across, a nice little change of pace, a very poor attempted tackle from Wilkes, sends Lewis into the break, a beautifully timed pass, and then away goes Smith to the line and does it quite easily in the finish. But I'm sure Wayne Bennett would feel for Johnny Lang, because this is exactly what happened to the Broncos yesterday.
My golly, that 310 times that Jeff Naylor told South to take the ball forward is paying off. Smith again, no mistake. 18-16, Eastern Suburbs lead. Dennis Hastie leaving the field. And he looks like he's in a bit of pain, so let's have a look.
As we see the head-on tackle, you'll see he copped the knee right into the shoulder area.
So his replacement is number 16, Dean Martin. Well, he'd be handy for a drink after the match, wouldn't he?
Everybody loves somebody and all that.
Yeah, right. Back to business. East lead by 20 points to 16. There's 15 minutes gone the second half. The Winfield State League. It's been a great game too. Kenny Robertson, the former Jet, almost into space.
Robinson's had a good game since he come on. He's made a couple of good tackles and a few good runs, as well as that great try.
So Banai, 5 metres inside Eastern Suburbs territory. South have made a great comeback in this second half. Robert Marsh.
I think the break for the injury of Hasty would have helped Southern Suburbs, because they're certainly the less fit of the two outfits, and the break in play would have given them a chance to have a bit of a breather.
Lewis putting it high. Now, it's over Jackson's left shoulder. Takes it. Well, he actually took, I thought he took that in goal. I thought play should have come back from the quarter, but East will play it 10 out from the line. Cowell skirting across field.
And Hasty has a suspected broken arm high in the left arm.
As we have a look at the replay of that high kick from Jackson. Right. Keating. Made good ground. He's 9 short of the halfway. Nielsen juggles but holds it. South have certainly tightened up their defence. Lusk. The hands are free to Wolans. Or to Rattiri, rather. Nash. Back to Neve. They're going to score. South couldn't put him on the deck. The ball was kept alive. And eventually it was Andrew Neve who crossed. And East have fought back the lead now, 24-16.
Clever work from Mark Nash. Comes back inside. Good winger's job.
It's a good try to Eastern Suburbs, but there'll be one tackle here that you'll see, the one that's missed at the last on Neves, that allows the try to be scored. Good work from Rattiri. Winger coming inside, and it's that tackle there over the top that allowed the try to be scored. And I think when we have a look at the other side, here's Rattiri going away. A few dummies there, and then straight inside. And the tackle there over the top that was missed has left it wide open for Neve to run away and score the try for East.
Well, Cuthbertson had 2 goes. Number 3, there he is in the blue band. He misses Nash there.
Yeah, well, that's the one that counted, because this gave Neve the opportunity. He's quick off the mark, the little halfback, and the Southern Suburbs defence had no chance of getting him then.
So the big man going high on the little man, and the little man ducking underneath in Mark Nash to set up that try, and Andrew Neve into score.
No wonder he jumped around. It's his first try for the season. He was pretty excited about getting over the line.
So Souths have to regroup now after that fine comeback in the early part of the second half. 24-16 with Jackson to try and add the 2 extras.
Be interesting to find out of Andy what the mistake rate is, because I would think from just watching the game, Eastern Suburbs would have a lower mistake rate than Southern Suburbs, and that's probably why they're getting on top of the game at the moment. South 13, East 8, so that's the reason that East are there.
Takes a long time over his kick, Jackson. It pays dividends. Eastern Suburbs lead 26-16. 19 minutes gone, second half. So Laxon restarts.
Versus Brothers match, Brown Park, Rockhampton. With about 10 minutes before half time. Central Queensland 28, Brothers 0.
This is Nielsen. Wilkes looming on his inside, but Nielsen safety first took the tackle. 26-16 is the lead. Short side for Cowell. Here he goes across field again. Oh, East all in a bunch. Rattiri had to take the tackle. Now Keating goes to dummy half and has a run from that position. And he's got Wilkes beside him. Now here's Martin in cover. Oh, Wilkes has beaten him. The pass has gone back to Sean Keating. Lewis hanging on to him. They're on the last tackle, and they've got men to burn if they spin it quickly and wide. Souths have had a chance to regroup. There'll be a penalty for being offside in the 5. A quick play the ball then, and he's for home for your team money. And here's Jackson. Does he take the quick tap?
It's still on. If he wants it, it's still on.
No, he'll take the 2.
He'll take the 2. The try was definitely on, but good refereeing there, because there was a chance on this far side that they had to penalise Southern Suburbs, but he knew that the option was on for East if they could swing it wide. And when the play broke down, he then awarded the penalty on the middle of the field for offside play over there as well. So good work from the referee, because he allowed the play to flow and give East every opportunity to score the 4-pointer.
Yeah, so they had a quick play of the ball. I had a quick count of heads. A quick play of the ball would have seen 8 on 2.
Toughest 2 we ever fought.
And I don't think the 2 are going to win. But he's doing the right thing, kept the pressure on, got the penalty, add the 2 extra and walk away with a lead of 28-16 after the kick.
If you're sitting up there in the studio, Bomber, I think we're in trouble, mate.
So Jackson adds the extras, 28-16, Eastern Suburbs lead.
East 28, South 16.
A few black and gold T-shirts supporting the boys from Langlands Park here this afternoon.
And I'll tell you what, they're going forward now after that early setback in the second half, going forward looking like a very good side for this Winfield Cup.
So Wolan's 14 out from his own line. Rattiri from dummy half. Nielsen. Nice tackle from Robert Marsh. And now we're going to lose possession, and the penalty goes to East. So
Scott Lewis again back chatting Maksoud, so he walks him another 10.
Marsh was definitely at fault then. He was the second marker, but he wasn't behind the first marker. And when they didn't have a dummy half, he just dived on the ball. But he certainly didn't come from the right position.
Here's Pearce. Oh, Pearce running hard at the 22.
South will have to be careful here, or the floodgates could open. They seem to have lost a little bit of control.
Lusk inside the quarter now. It's 28-16, the lead for the Tigers. It's now with Neve. Back to Keating. Kenny Robertson's got hold of him. Wrestles him to the ground. Scotty Nielsen to dummy half. Shane Pearce takes it straight at the South defence. And the big fella's only 12 out from the line. Now it'll go to Neve and Patch. And here's Hastings flying onto it. Nice tackle by Deeves. They're on the final tackle now. Neve toes ahead, picked up by Cuthbertson. He takes it out to the 10-metre line. Banai. Martin goes to dummy half. Then goes to ground. Banai tries to skirt from dummy half. Not a lot of constructive work at the moment round the base of this ruck. What can Morrissey do? He's found space. He's found space. Over to Stour. Back to Laxon. Is this try number 2? Also it is. Souths are back in business underneath the post. Paul Laxon in to try at the score. And haven't South scored some clangers here this afternoon? And Gary Morrissey was the man which precipitated that try.
Magnificent try again from Southern Suburbs. They seem to specialise in coming from about 70 metres out, where Morrissey made the initial break here. Looks for the dummy, straightens up again, and then a beautiful pass over the top comes inside Laxon, and then a nice fend here. He pushes him right from the forward, just pushes him away, and then obviously has the pace to run around and put it down under the black dot. But a beautiful team try from Southern Suburbs, set up by Morrissey with some smart work in this position here. The 5'8", beating the players, looks around, the good pass there, and then the little one over the top, and now look for the beautiful fend right onto the forward. See you later. I'm in under the post. 4 points, thank you.
The only thing he should have done was not put it down one-handed. He should have just fallen on the football. Then he would have made sure of it.
But that is a classic fend.
Yes, Andrew Neve left in his wake. So Laxon scored 2 tries. Can he convert his own try? Makes no mistake. Eastern Suburbs lead 28-22. 15 minutes remaining.
And still hanging.
Now there is a drill.
Slovio's new meat and potato pizza. Lots of beef, cheese and topped with hearty-sized potato slices. What a great taste. What a great pizza.
681 bring Slovio's to your door.
Tonight in National 9 News, man dies, woman injured in Brisbane house fire. Australia's Easter road toll continues to rise. Thousands of Christians celebrate their holy day. Overseas, Black African leader Nelson Mandela confirms the ANC is guilty of torturing its former members. NASA launches the first recycled satellite, the finish line in the Brisbane to Gladstone yacht race, and a lot of hot air put to music.
National 9 News, tonight at 6.
Just having a quick think back over the tries they've scored, Bruce. They've been absolute bottlers. Laxon's first try was a gem. Robertson's in the first minute of the second half was a top try. So was Jason Smith's. And Laxon's second try. So they've been the 4 tries that they've scored been absolute gems.
Kenny Jackson's off down there, Rod.
Yes, the story on Ken Jackson, he's got a twisted right knee. It was twisted as he tried to break down the movement that led to the South's try. So he goes to the dressing room, and Darren Jardin is the replacement in number 16 for Easts.
All right, now Scott Lewis doesn't throw the best of passes, but it's recovered, and then the intercept's on. And he's got him from being offside or holding someone without the ball. Well, Hastings was under the post. Tony Maksoud's rule that Eastern Suburbs have held the South player without the ball.
And Johnny Lang is walking about, can't believe what has happened, because a typical pass here without having a look. Lewis throws the bad pass. It's picked up here, and then without even looking, throws it around and straight into the hands of the Eastern Suburbs player. But the referee, in the meantime, had found the penalty to Southern Suburbs.
And it happened out of camera view. But Miles Harm just threw the ball without even looking, straight into Chris Hastings' hands. I don't think he'll do that for a while. The old heart will be pumping out there now. All right. So this game's had plenty to talk about. 28-22 is the lead for the Tigers. Gould up the middle.
Be interesting now to see with Jackson off and
Jardin on.
Jardin on. It'll be interesting to see whether Scott Lewis tries to take advantage of a fullback maybe that isn't really into the game at this stage.
Very clever player, Scott Lewis, and that passage of play, he created an opening. Robertson's gone without it. Cowell will pick it up.
Bad play from Robinson by not attempting to make it, and South's errors 14, East 8.
Lusk.
He's taken the ball up solidly for the Tigers today as Paul Lusk.
An old-fashioned front rower, runs straight and hard. And Wolan's, well, he throws a silly pass. That'll be pulled back by Tony Maksoud.
Tell you what, it's interesting the number of passes that Darren Wallens has thrown today. Every time he's had the ball, he's tried to unload it, which is a good passage of his play that we like to see.
Yeah, well, he's always been known as a tackler, and he did tell me last season one thing he wanted to work on was his attack. His defence was in pretty good shape, so he's obviously trying more this year in loading the ball, and in doing so, in the learning process, I suppose he's going to spill a couple. Here's Wilkes. That's Bruce Crosby, a dummy half over to Eckert. They seem to come on and work in tandem in that replacement area. The Terry wrapping around. Wolans. Oh, he's popped another one up, but it's eventually picked up by Bruce Crosby.
Penalty going against Crosby there. He had 1 foot anchored on the ground. Even though he felt that he wasn't held, he still got up and passed the ball, but with 1 foot on the ground. So the penalty to Southern Suburbs, and that could be a big help. Have a look at Crosby here. Held there, 1 foot still on the ground. You can't pass from there and expect to get away with it.
He was effectively held. So Brett Gould finds touch. 8 metres inside his territory. 11 minutes showing on the clock.
And it's going to be an interesting 11 minutes too.
With the bruised jaw, Jason Smith back into the action for the Magpies, and Peter Deeves comes off. I said, how's the jaw? And he said, it's fine, thanks.
Also on is Cole Kenner for Souths, wearing number 8. It's Smith. Dean Martin, a dummy half. This is Kenner. Back to Martin. If South can get over a converted try to make the last 10 minutes pretty interesting. But Morrissey throws a silly pass. And Patch will play it. Eckert. Nash. Crosby. Smith has hold of him. Wrestles into the turf. Smith again the tackle, this time on Eckert. This will be for Miles Harm. And he's 10 metres outside his own quarter. Now Martin away from Morrissey, turning it inside. Well, it's kept alive. Morrissey still trying to create things. He's turned one back inside to Laxon. Dummying, and then he's going to lose the football. Jarden having a run across field. Eventually slips over, and he's finished off by Stour.
One thing about with Morrissey in the game for Southern Suburbs, there's always something going to happen. It hasn't always been good, but he's a very elusive player.
So Eastern Suburbs, things starting to slow down just a little bit after the frantic second half pace.
And this
it's
penalty
been a great pace, really, this game, hasn't it, for the humid conditions?
It's been an outstanding performance from both sides. Some magnificent tries, some rock-solid defence, and some really gutsy performances by the forwards.
Ton of youth out here for both teams. Average age of South's pack 18. The oldest man in the east back line is Pat Cowell, the winger, at 24. So both these clubs with a lot of talent and potential.
Now we'll have a chance to look at another talent, Darren Jarden's kicking expertise. He's about 38 metres out, just a shade to the side of the uprights.
Thought it might have been a good tactic of Southern Suburbs to try him out as soon as he came onto the field at fullback. Maybe give him a few bombs or something, just because they're coming into the game at that stage, well into the second half. When Jackson left the field, he mightn't have been in tune with it, and they may have picked up a mistake.
All right, so let's have a look at the kicking style of young Darren Jarden. That's what confronts him. Hits it. And just away to the left-hand side as Miles Harms runs it out. All right, 7.5 minutes on the clock. Souths are going to have to get a try on the board pretty quickly. Laxon takes the, not Laxon, rather Cuthbertson takes the tackle. Robertson's going to drop it.
I put the mocker on poor old Robinson because I gave him a bit of a rap, and since then he's made mistake after mistake.
So Eastern Suburbs find themselves on the South's quarter line. Lusk driven back. That's good defence from South. That's good stuff. In there was Smith.
And Kenner.
and Colin Kenner. Wilkes stepping. Can't get away from Gould. Now Neve gives it to Crosby. And he runs it inside the quarter. On the final tackle. Who puts the kick up with Jackson away? It's a field goal from Neve. Attempted field goal, I should say.
And good play again from Neve, trying to get that break on them. At the moment, with the score at 28-22, that extra point would have made all the difference.
So Lewis kicking on the first tackle, which is good tactics. It's a good kick. And Lewis will be the first chaser to Jardine. There's 4 chases from South, which is good stuff. And they've got Jardine inside his own 22. If East make a mistake, Souths are a chance. He's dropped the football. Souths have got it. Well, there you go. Mark Nash dropped the ball. And now Souths have got 6 tackles, 22 out from the line. They're only 19 metres short of the try line. Martin goes to dummy half. He gives it away to McDonald. Keane McDonald's 12 out from the line. Can they get over for a converted try to even up the scoreboard? McDonald plays it to Martin, the creative player in Lewis. Now to Morrissey, turns it inside to Robertson. He's ruled him in an offside position.
I think he would have been too. He was. It looked like the pass was going to go forward. But that was... Have a look at it now as it comes from Morrissey. Oh, touch and go. But still...
So Hastings finds touch 10 metres short of the halfway, where South had a big chance there. East dropping the football on their own quarter line. Eckert's on the halfway mark. Lusk. Neve and Rattiri do the wraparound. Back to Crosby. There's a little darter and a diver, Bruce Crosby, just outside the quarter.
South players going for the ribs and the legs. The old strains are telling. Stitches and hamstring problems, maybe.
Well, Neve has thrown a wild pass. Hastings doesn't know what to do with it. And they lose about 15 metres and they play the ball.
Another cramp.
Nash.
Justin Stowers on the ground.
Yeah, it's getting in the last 4 minutes. A few weary bones and tired muscles out there now. Neve having another attempt at a field goal.
Good direction, just under.
So, what does Scott Lewis do this time? 3.5 minutes remaining. The wingers drop back for Reese.
Hang on.
So Lewis takes it and chips. Too many red jerseys, gold and black jerseys there.
Probably it wasn't deep enough. It needed to be a couple of metres deeper because they had a good chase on. Now he's trying to waste as much time as they can.
Nielsen. Yeah, so the kick been about another 5 or 10 metres because there's plenty of room. Jardine at full-back was well back, and Nash on the wing was way back on the other side, so there was room. It just wasn't executed to perfection.
The thing you like about Scott Lewis, though, he hasn't stopped trying things all day, and that's why Southern Suburbs are still in the game at this stage.
Now Neve to Wolans. Oh, that eventually found its way to Patch. And he's into touch and needs to get the penalty.
Tony Maksoud had called tackle. They still dragged him over the line. Justified penalty goes to the Tigers.
And this is what you can see.
Apart from anything else, it's going to use up valuable time here for Eastern Suburbs. With only a couple of minutes left on the clock, they're going to kick it out and just use up the 6. And Souths are going to run out of time. But what a great game it's been. There's been many good players for both sides, and certainly Wolans has had an outstanding game. I've been very impressed with Rattiri. I thought his workload has been outstanding today for Eastern Suburbs. Their halves have gone exceptionally well, and Southern Suburbs have also had a lot of good players. But maybe it's not all over yet.
Well, that man you're speaking about, Rob Rattiri, almost over. Now goes back to Neve. The intercept. Well, Morrissey throws the ball down, but I tell you what, there was about 5 or 6 coming quickly in cover.
I don't think they would have got him.
It's quick.
It's a big statement, T.
Well, he's really quick, and if he had been able to pull that off, I can see that he's got a lot of frustration on his face, but I reckon that he thought that he just about sealed it up.
Well, this will seal it up anyway. The penalty for East. Not packing into the scrum. And there's a minute and a half remaining. Shane Pearce.
With credit to both coaches and both sides under fairly humid conditions. The pace of the game has been extraordinary, and certainly some of the tries we've seen today have been the best that we've seen in the Winfield Cup to date.
With Terry trying to get over from dummy half. Can't make it. Crosby. Well, that'll be the penalty for the kick now. It'll take up time, but I suppose you've got to try something. Well, only 50 seconds on the clock.
That's the second time that Marsh has infringed in that marker position.
With the semi-finals only a couple of weeks away in the State League, obviously Souths won't be able to make it now by losing this one, but Eastern Suburbs' chances would have to be exceptionally high, because this is would put them still undefeated, and they'll have to be one of the favourites for the competition now.
Yes, they've done everything right up to date. I think there's a number of things that Jeff Naylor can salvage from this match. One is obviously South's best chances of scoring tries is when they're 70 metres out from the line. But when you have teams that can score tries a long way out from their line, at least you know you can pull a game out of the fire at any stage. That's the full-time hooter. Jardine adds the extras, and that's full-time. And Eastern Suburbs defeat South by 30 points to 22.
Now,
welcome back. Well, Eastern Suburbs successful, 30 points to 22. Let's have a look at the full-time statistics in our match of the day from Lang Park. And the penalties favoured the Tigers. The scrums were shared, the tries were shared, the goals were the difference. 7 to the Tigers, 3 to Souths, and that gave them a scoreline of 30 points to 22 in their favour. Check out all the results from around the state in the Winfield State League matches played today. And Ipswich down Toowoomba, so that ends Toowoomba's chances of making the finals. Redcliffe were winners over Wide Bay. Central Queensland, big winners over Brothers. North Queensland, they thrashed Logan City. Valleys, they also did likewise to Western Suburbs. Norths had a win over Winner Manly. They can't seem to pull a trick at the moment. The points table as it stands in the Winfield State League at the moment. Valleys and East, the only two teams undefeated. They've got a 3-point gap over North Queensland and Redcliffe. Then Brothers, Wide Bay, Ipswich. And the other teams, Norths with a hope, the rest really can't make it. Toowoomba, Central Queensland, Souths and West, Winner Manly and Logan City yet to open their account. Let's have a look at the New South Wales Rugby League match results, and some interesting ones there. Yesterday the Broncos couldn't match it with Penrith. Today, Norths won the battle against Manly, the home derby there. Parramatta were winners over Newcastle. That's the Broncos' next opponents, the Knights. Canterbury down Cronulla in the match of the day, the quiet achievers Canterbury. Canberra, big winners. What a return to form over Eastern Suburbs. 66 points to 4. Mal Meninga got 38 points. St George, well, they were winners over the Gold Coast. And Illawarra, they a bit of an upset over Souths. They won 22 points to 20, a try in the last couple of minutes. And of course, there's one game to go there. That's the Balmain West match. That'll be on tomorrow. The points table as it stands, Cronulla and Canterbury on top on 8 points. Then Penrith, Canberra, Illawarra, Parramatta, Brisbane and Newcastle on 5. Then we've got Balmain and West, of course, they've got their match to go tomorrow, and the rest of the sides on that points table. Well, we return to Brisbane, of course, next week for the Winfield State League. Our match of the day is the one from Lang Park, Valleys and Redcliffe. Kick-off time at 3 p.m. We'll have all the highlights here on Nine's Wide World of Sports at 5 p.m. Hope you can join us for that. Bye for now.